these are my beauty empties of 2025. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. These are all of the empty makeup and other beauty items that I used up in a year. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but I know why that has happened, because I have mainly been using bigger size packaging, so then you go through fewer items, but it's still, of course, an item that does count. So there's skincare in here, body care, hair care, some other odd bits and ends. And there's a bunch of makeup over there that's actually been overflowing, so some of the mascaras fell out. So if you've ever wondered, like, do I use things up? Do I project pan? I most certainly do. I've hit pan on quite a few items this year, and I also used up some makeup this year. I do tend to use up like the workhorses of a makeup collection more so than like color products. So mascara I go through quite quickly, setting sprays, powders, what else? Brow products, primers. Those are the type of things that I use up in a given year. So let me just talk you through it, and we'll go by category, and then you will know this before I do. Well, not really, of course, because I need to edit it into the video. But since it takes me too much time as I'm filming it to look up the monetary value of all of these items, because I'm always very curious, like, how much money was all of this worth in the end? So if I can still look it up, I will do that once I edit the video. I will look up what all of these products were priced as, and I will give you the total of what everything was worth towards the end of the video, because I'm really curious to see how that went. So we have the makeup off to the side. First, I think I'll show you like body care. So it's mainly going to be shower gels, because that's what I've used up. As you can see, I've been going through some larger size bottles here as well. So it maybe doesn't look like a lot, but I haven't used a lot. Plus I was traveling this year quite a bit, and the minis that I took minis there, so I used them either up while I was there. And if they weren't gone, I did use them up later at home, but I now see that I forgot to keep those. So that's a bit of a fail. So I know for a fact that I've gone through more than this, but for instance, these big guys, I don't use a lot of shower gel in one go. I just make sure it suds up really nicely. And then I tried some new deodorant this year. I usually use Dove, which I enjoy. I keep a bottle in like my gym bag, in my in my skincare cupboard. I have one in my work bag. Like, they live in different places, so I tend to go through them at a different rate depending on how much I want to use them. But I was using these Vichy ones, and these were really nice. I actually repurchased them when I was in Paris. And then I used up an entire body butter as well. I used to go through body butter a lot more quickly, because I was also using it for like my hands and feet a lot more than I do now. But I have found that the more I use products to try and hydrate my nails, the weaker they get. So I no longer use it daily. I use it like 2 or 3 times a week to keep my hands and my feet nourished. But I break my nails far too easily if I do use a lot of like moisturizing products on my nails, because they become really soft. And I use up a Lush bath bomb. I haven't been really into taking baths. I have a fold-up bath, in case you didn't know. I don't have a fixed bath in my house, so it does take a little bit of time to set up, and I just haven't really felt like doing that, you could say. For hair, I feel like I've really gotten into fewer and fewer products as time has gone on, mainly because I mainly now use products that I buy from my hairdresser. So those, again, they are far more potent. I only need to use a little bit at a time. So there isn't a lot here. So these are the shampoo and conditioner that I decided to buy because my hairdresser used them. So this is the Authentic Beauty Concept Amplify Cleanser for fine hair, and the Label M Royal Yuzu Anti-Frizz Conditioner. These are okay. I'm not hugely in love, so I am going to ask my hairdresser for a different recommendation, because as much as they do clean my hair, but I do feel it doesn't do much of anything else. Then we have a mousse. I was doing some mousse when my hair was a bit shorter, but my hair is now too long for it, so don't expect any more mousse in the future. A dry shampoo. I do go through these from time to time, but again, I've been washing my hair a little bit more now that my hair is longer, so I use dry shampoo a lot less. And because I'm wearing, like I'm using the hairdresser shampoo, it just takes a much longer time to use up. I think I've had both of these bottles for like a year. And then this oil spray sort of thing to help to detangle your hair. That's a favorite. I've used that for a long time. And then I have some skincare bits. I always have some like beauty trash, you could say. Micellar wipes, I do go through these quite quickly because I use them for taking off swatches and doing all that. But I must have just thrown away some of the packaging over the year. I must have forgotten to put some things in these bins as well. And then I do go through cotton rounds. I know not very sustainable, but any of the more sustainable options for taking stuff off your face is just incredibly, like, it doesn't help with my sensitive skin is what I'm trying to say. They're always far too coarse. This is the only cotton round as well that I feel takes off my makeup or cleanses my face, but without doing any damage to my skin. So that's why I always have these day makeup. I always buy the maxi pack. I believe it's got like 100 of them in there, and I just buy them every single time I need them. I used up a fragrance. Well, it's only a travel size, a trial size. This is by Room 1015, and it's Cherry Punk. I was really on the hunt for a new cherry sort of fragrance, and I thought this could be it. I had heard really good reviews of this. It doesn't last well on me. It smells nice. It's not too sweet of a cherry, which I enjoy, but it has no longevity on my skin. It ends up evaporating within an hour. And I found that with some other niche fragrances as well, where it just doesn't last. So yeah, there's that. Skincare is the other category I do use up the most in. I've got a bunch of cleansers here. I used up my cleansing balm. This was the last one I had from Good Molecules, which is a favorite, but it was replaced in 2025 by the Bioma Milky Oil Cleanser. I already have a backup of this. I'm currently using up another cleansing balm because I wanted to get to it first. But this is my new favorite cleanser for like taking off makeup, you could say. So if you need something to break down layers of makeup, this is a really good one. I went through two of these. These are the Bioderma Hydra Bio. I have already a new one in use in my skincare cupboard. So that's absolutely fine. I use this every morning to cleanse my skin. And if I feel I still need to cleanse my skin after the oil cleanser, I will, with a bit of micellar water. The reason why I don't use like a micellar water as a second cleansing step all the time is again because my skin doesn't like it. I know everybody swears by double cleansing. It doesn't work for me. I've also used up these two cleansers, the Snail Mucin Gel Cleanser and the Cicaplast Lavant B5 by La Roche-Posay. La Roche-Posay is another favorite brand, as you'll see in a sec. I think that's everything for cleansers, right? Yeah, that's everything for cleansers. So those were lovely as well. I mainly keep these kind of things in the shower if I just want to do like a quick cleanse in the morning. I have something there. I know it's not recommended to cleanse your skin in the shower, but I'm a lazy bee. And we have this. This is the Angels on Bare Skin. This one looks gross because this is the one that I always used in my shower. So I always had a fresh pot that I kept in my cupboard because once this product gets wet, it gets really, really gross. So I used another pot to like use a little at the time. This is one of the longest standing skincare products in my entire skincare routine. I've always found it helped my skin a lot with blackheads and stuff, but I'm now using a little bit more like actives, vitamin C, niacinamide, and I'm hoping that just using those products is going to have the same effect as using this. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to repurchase it yet because I do want to see what happens to my skin if I'm only using like a serum at night that helps to do the same thing. Essentially. Then I think, yeah, I used up two face masks, the Cosrx Propolis Honey Overnight Mask. This was nice. I use these as moisturizers. And the Overnight Glow Revealing Mask with vitamin C from the Body Shop. These are nice. I believe this is discontinued. Like a lot of the Body Shop stuff I used to love is no longer around, so it's a bit of a shame. I know I used up another SPF. Not sure where it went. Must have thrown it away. Or maybe I took it with me traveling and I threw it away there. I definitely did that. Like, I didn't want to have to lug around too many things. So a lot of the things I brought on the trip, I threw away as I was there. So I think that may be why. But this is by Some By Me. That was sent to me by YESSTYLE. And my favorite, the La Roche-Posay Anthelius. I like the one with the green stripe, which is more mattifying in the summer, but they also do one with a blue stripe, which is currently in my skincare routine, which is more hydrating. And where would we be without some more La Roche-Posay? These are the moisturizers. This is okay. I wanted to try this, the Toleriana Sensitive Riche. I used to use quite a bit of the Toleriana line when I first got into skincare. It was like the only thing my skin could really handle. And over time, I have just found that I like the Cicaplast Baume B5 so much more. This one has an SPF of 50. They don't do that one in the bigger size. I can use this daytime, nighttime. That's also why there are quite a few moisturizers in here, actually, because I do tend to use them like twice a day, especially if it's a very basic one like this one. It doesn't make a difference for me to be using this daytime or nighttime. The Green Aqua Smoothing Gel Cream from Cosrx I also really enjoyed, but this was quite thin. This was really nice for me in the summertime. I don't like something super heavy when it's really warm, but this was nice. And this was actually sent to me in PR. It's by Medicube, and it's the Collagen Jelly Cream. And this was nice, but I do find it a little bit expensive for what it is. Like, I get just as much out of my La Roche-Posay as I do this. The Good Sera Super Ceramide Cream by Holika Holika. This was really nice as well. Was able to use it daytime, nighttime, and therefore I went through it really quickly. And then some other things. The Vitamin C Moisturizer from The Body Shop. I think this was my last tube. I bought a couple of those for backup when they discontinued it. That was my favorite, like, summertime moisturizer for a very long time, but they no longer make it. And then this, I wanted to try some Balea skincare. I got a lot of it in Germany when I was there in 2024. I so far haven't found anything that I really like. It's very affordable if you are in Germany. It's very cheap and cheerful, but nothing is truly effective, I find. So same thing with this Balea Beauty Expert Calming Serum. This was okay. It's a bit too thick to be used with a pipette like this one. So I was like pouring it out every single time because else it just wouldn't come out. This was nice. It's very soothing for the skin, but it's also very basic. I might as well just use the Cicaplast by La Roche-Posay, and whether I add this or not, it doesn't make much of a difference. I used up some of The Ordinary as well, the caffeine solution. I like this in the morning on my under eyes to depuff them and make me look a little bit more awake before my concealer goes on. So that's been lovely. And the Vitamin C suspension. I do like this product a lot, but I do need to mix it in with something else. This straight onto my face burns, so that's not a good thing. So I do like to mix this in with a face oil, but I have found that in recent years, I don't like face oil as much as I used to. I used to be an avid face oil user, but I've been really simplifying my skincare routine in the past year or two. I'm mainly just cleansing my skin. I apply a serum and then I do my moisturizer and that's it. So I don't really use as much as I used to. Like, I used to have like a 10-step skincare routine before that was ever the rage. Like, I figured out with my dry skin that my skin likes it if I go in with thinner layers, but I have just found better, more effective products over time. So the face oil is no longer needed. It just actually now makes my skin a little bit oily. Hyaluronic acid from Good Molecules. I came into some Good Molecules through PR a few years ago, liked a lot of the products, repurchased them, and then Beautylish actually lost my order. They sent it to me again for free, and then within the time span of a week, both orders arrived. So this was still back from that, so that's why I knew I had to use that up, because I have been sitting on that product for quite some time. But that's how I sort of accidentally came into a lot of skincare. And that's why I didn't have to buy a lot of skincare for like 2 years, because I was still using so much. And now I've bought quite a few skincare products from YESSTYLE in October. So again, like the next year or two, I know I'm solid when it comes to skincare. I won't be needing anything anytime soon. Maybe if I go to Paris again towards the end of the year, that is sort of like my wish to like make it a yearly thing to go to Paris in like September, October time, even if it's just for the day, and then like stock up on some skincare, because La Roche-Posay is cheaper there. And if I'm there anyways, because I want to go to museums or do other fun things, might as well pop into the pharmacy and pick some things up, right? That's sort of how I've been doing that. But yeah, we have the more interesting things in here, I'm sure. And this cubby, I think this is the most amount of makeup I've used up in years. So let me show you. And this doesn't even include the things I hit pan on. These are empties. These are proper empties. I used up 3 foundations this year, which is unique for me. I've not used up this many foundations, I think, ever. 2 of them are cushion foundations, so they can be used up a lot more quickly. The Parnell one was sent to me in PR by YESSTYLE, and I used it for about a month when I first received it. Really enjoyed it, and then I tried going back to it in November, and I only got like 3 more uses out of it, and then it was empty, so that was a bit of a shame. And similarly with the SM Brighten Up Cushion Foundation in shade 2 Ivory, the Parnell one is in 21, I'm sure. This is lovely. It's a really good cushion foundation from Essence, but I used it up in like under 3 weeks. It's only 12 grams of product, so that's not a lot. So that's probably why. And I did end up using up the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude Skin Tint. They now have come out with a new skin tint in 2025. I've had this for a few years. Sadly, Giorgio Armani has become a little less available over here in the Netherlands. They used to be carried by Douglas, and now that display has been replaced by Gucci, so I don't know if this is still easy to get. I had to import this shade, 1.5, from Look Fantastic because this shade wasn't carried anywhere here. They didn't go lighter than shade 3 for their range in the Netherlands, not in store and not online, which was a bit of a shame. But I did really like the product. This was a great summertime foundation for me. Oh, I used up 2 of them. Oh no, I wasn't aware, but I used up 2 of my Pretty Fresh setting sprays. So I think one of these was already in use at the start of the year, and the other one I've used up completely within a year. I find that this is a setting spray that I can use for quite some weeks and months. Very often I find that setting sprays is a product you can go through really quickly. Some setting sprays I've tried in the past, like the Charlotte Tilbury or the Milk Makeup, or, I've tried all the classics, you could say, and a lot of those you can use up under like 6 to 8 weeks. This one easily lasts me 6 months with daily usage. So that's why I think it's great value for money. It's very hydrating. It really nicely settles all the layers of makeup on my skin. I don't feel it does anything for longevity, but that's not what I would use a setting spray for. I tend to feel like doing good skincare and perhaps a primer and what foundation you wear has more of an impact on wear time, and how you apply the foundation has a bigger impact on wear time than adding setting spray. I used up 2 primers, and these are again bigger products that only take a little bit for every use that you're using them. I used up my Glossier Future Dew and the Kosas Glow IV. I believe the Kosas Glow IV is no longer available, which makes me very sad. This does have a shade name. It's Revive, I believe. This doesn't look empty, but it's an airless pump, and the more I try to pump it, there's just nothing coming out. And I know that some people will then cut open their products and do that, but Kosas is a clean beauty brand. They don't do a lot of preservatives in their makeup, and I'd rather have my makeup be safe than be able to use every last drop of this. It's not worth it to me to get any sort of infections or like other things like contamination going on. Makeup is packaged, I believe that makeup is packaged in a certain way to make sure you can keep it for as long as possible. Glossier Future Dew, I did repurchase this when I went to the Glossier store in November. I love this product. I think it's lovely. It goes so well with my makeup. It's very hydrating. It's an oil-based primer. It says so on the front. It says an oil serum hybrid. I use it as a primer. It's super glowy. It has a bit of a tint, but the glow is what captures my attention. And then same with the Kosas. I actually had another clean beauty brand in my makeup collection that I just knew I had to start using up in 2025. So I had these 2 glosses and this concealer by Tower 28 in my Shop My Stash for most of the year because I knew I wanted to use them up before they would expire. Managed to use up the concealer, but the lip glosses are, both of them are about halfway through, and around October time, they all of a sudden started to just smell so terribly, and I bought them at the same time, so I knew that that was no longer safe to use, but I made a valiant effort because both of these products were only about down to here at the start of the year, and I was able to put both of them like somewhere along, like between the W and the E, so for both of these colors. You can't see it right now. Of this one you can see a little bit how much of it is gone. This is pistachio, this is sesame, and the concealer is in the shade 3cc. Lovely products, but I would not repurchase them because they do tend to expire so quickly. Like, unless you have the intention of using them up straight away, you're not going to like it. I used up some lip balms, so that's always a given. So the Dr. Lip Original Nipple Balm is a great nighttime lip balm, but it's very thick. You only need a little bit. So this little tube actually lasted me like almost all year. And I finally used up the C.O. Bigelow, my favorite lip balm. I picked this one up from Liberty's at London, and it took me, I think, almost 2 years to use it up. And I don't know what happened to this, but I felt it was a little bit weird where it had started to separate at some point, and especially in the summertime, I would get more of the oil than of the balm. So it wasn't as hydrating as I wanted it to be. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then what is always a standard element of any sort of makeup empties for me is brow products. So these are all the brow products I used up. I only used up one brow pencil, and that's because this Soap & Glory Archery brow pencil is the only fine tip brow pencil. Like, I can no longer use this. There is a little bit of product there, but I can feel the plastic scratch my face when I try to use it, so it's gone. But yeah, this is a wonderful product. I have 4 of them in backup. I'm currently in the midst of using a different brow product that I still had lying about, but because these last me such a long time is why I buy them, so that I can use one single brow pencil for the entire year. Makes me very happy. Of my favorite Essence Make Me Brows, I have not been able to find this again in my shade. You can tell that I pick these up from store whenever I run out of them. I never keep these as backup, and the faux pas I made is that I haven't been able to find my shade in stock for the past 3 to 4 months. I haven't had time yet to check again, but I've been checking since September, and I haven't been able to find it in like 3 or 4 different stores that I've gone through. Yeah, when they do this again, I'm gonna pick it up. Don't worry. Because I am a little bit low on my brow gels. I do still have a clear brow gel in from Sydney Grace, but this gets really weird and lumpy after a couple of weeks. So that's why I stopped using this, because I would just get little chunks of brow gel into my brows, which I don't like. And then a eyeshadow primer is what I've used up, the NYX HD eyeshadow primer. I repurchased this after years of not trying much NYX a couple of years ago, and I did really enjoy it, and it was just time to use it up. So I'm really glad that I did, and I'm now using my favorite Milani one again. Eyeshadow primer is another one of those things that takes quite a bit to use up. And everything else is mascara. I do go through mascara quite quickly, also because I'm currently not only into black mascara, but I've also done some colorful mascara such as burgundy and purple, and I'm really, really solid on my brown picks now too. I've got a couple of solid favorites that have come out in the past year, and that has doubled the amount of mascara that I've tried and that I've been using, because if you have 4 mascaras open, 2 brown ones and 2 black ones, rather than just the 2 black ones, of course you're going to go through things quickly, because once mascara is open, it starts to degenerate and it's no longer any good. Do you like my red socks? Hi. So there's that for sure. So what have I been using? I think I have 2 of these, maybe even another one. No, I don't. I have 2 of the Lash Without Limits. This is the tubing version, and this is the waterproof. Both of these weren't super successful from Essence, so that's why they ended up in this cubby very, very quickly. What I did like were these different colors. Ooh, things are rolling away. these different colors of the Lash Princess that Essence has come out with. The brown is a favorite. The purple is really pretty too. These are really good. It's the Lash Princess formula that you know you enjoy. These are the volumizing ones. So the black one comes in a black tube with the mint green, and these are just different colors of that same formula, same brush wand. I love these. But the Lash Princess for me has kind of been dethroned by the Call Me Queen mascara. This one I love. It has a little ball on the applicator, so I really like that. The only downside with Essence and Catrice, you'll see those in a second, with Essence and Catrice is that they do dry out really quickly. So you can use them for about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. And therefore, I do like to try some other things from time to time. But here's that Lash Princess in the black. I've loved this for years. This has been in several of my empties over the years. A mascara that I'm almost like known for loving is the Catrice Glam & Doll Waterproof. This now comes in a slightly different formula and lighter blue packaging for 2026. I bought it just to try it to see if I like it as much as I do this, but this is my top coat. So whenever I wear black mascara, I love a volumizing mascara, but they tend to clump up my lashes. This separates them and it makes everything waterproof. I ride my bike to work. I live in the Netherlands, lots of wind, lots of rain, and this makes my mascara not smudge. And it's like under €5 at the drugstore. So loving that. If I want a mascara that I can use for more months than the Essence and Catrice ones, I go for this. This is the Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. Love this thing to pieces. There aren't that many in there right now, but this is currently in my Shop My Stash. That Catrice Glam & Doll one came out in the brown in 2025, so guess what? Now I also have a brown waterproof mascara to use as a top coat with other brown mascaras. So I'm using this in the same way as I do the black. And I think the rest is all of these Catrice mascaras. Some of these were new. This is the Catrice tubing mascara. This is the Hyper Lash in the burgundy. There's nothing wrong with these. These were fine, but the Hyper Lash brush, oh my word. My eye shape cannot deal with this. This is far too big. I smudge it everywhere. So that didn't really work for me. I did like the shade. And the tubing mascara, also with the Essence one, they actually make my eyes itch. I have very sensitive eyes, so I don't think that tubing mascara is for me because it's too easy to remove it. And then the little flakes as they dry over the day tend to get into my eyes, and it really, really irritates my eyes. I do really like this. This is the Pure Volume in Burgundy Brown by Catrice. This is my favorite brown mascara by Catrice. Speaking of tubing mascaras, I also had the same issue with these Heimish mascaras. These are the Daylism Smudge Stop Mascara in the black and the brown, and I just wanted to give them a whirl because I haven't tried a lot of K-beauty and everybody's raving about tubing mascaras, so I was like, might as well try them, but I don't know, there's just something about tubing mascaras that doesn't gel well with me. So I will now be putting the grand total up on the screen of everything that I used up in the past year. So thanks so much for watching this video today. If you would like to have an update throughout the year of what makeup I'm using up, what I'm hitting pan on, what I'm using, if you want to get a vibe for how I use my makeup and how I go through my makeup collection, watch my Shop My Stashes, because I definitely do show you this. I just don't think it's very well known for some people that I actually do these things, and that I do have like a mini project pan. Like there's always a couple of products where I'm like, these I really need to get to. You know what I mean? And whether I hit pan on them or not, I don't really care. But I always try to make an effort and have a couple of products a year that I would like to use up. And for instance, the Armani I managed to use up this year. And then 2 other foundations, which is good. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this video here today. I really hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, because I do come on to this channel 4 times a week with new content all about makeup. But I do have a second channel if you want more by me. I do post videos about books, fashion, as well as some vlogs from time to time over on channel number 2, which is Floating in Books. So you can find the link to that in the description box down below always. And I'm also on TikTok if you want to follow me there. So, and if you want a little bit more of like an inside peek but I don't post there very often. I do have an Instagram as well, and there I just tend to post some fun things sometimes if I feel like sharing something, but I hardly ever post on there anymore. But yeah, there's that. And so thank you so very much for joining me, and then I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you very soon, hopefully, and then I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.